All right. Good morning, Jamie.
Morning.
How are you
Finally.
today? I
Oh
know.
man, I was great until the stresses of trying to connect wasn't
Technical
happening.
difficulties. That's
I
okay.
know. I
How are you
know.
feeling today? When I saw you yesterday, you said your neck was hurting.
I'm telling you what, Austin, I feel like it's not cool getting older. And like, yes, my neck to the point where like when I'm driving, I feel like I have to turn my whole upper torso like
Oh no.
robotically. Um, I'm going to confess something to you. The other day, I sneezed and my back spasmed. And I just
No.
felt like, um, so basically, I'm living on Tylenol and a prayer today that we get through it.
Yeah. Well,
So
thank God for Tylenol.
I'm going to just keep on hoping it just goes away.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned I have to go to the vet after this.
Yeah,
So Stevie has been having this. This is a little gross, maybe a little TMI for the podcast, but whatever.
let's dive into it.
We've been getting home and from leaving her for a couple hours, and there'll be like a little bit of a puddle underneath her, like a little bit of wetness, and
Okay.
it doesn't smell like pee. We'll like put our nose up to it. It doesn't smell like pee. It's just like
Good for you.
a liquid.
Yeah.
And so we took her to the vet last week, and they're not really sure what it is, but they want to do a urine sample.
Okay.
And doing a urine sample for a human, easy peasy.
Right.
For a dog, I've never thought about how challenging it would be. So
I actually don't know how you would do
so they gave us like a little tray basically.
that.
And this morning, Brian was like chasing her around the yard, waiting for her to pee. And then as soon as she starts peeing, he like puts the tray underneath her to catch it.
Did it work?
It worked, but then
Okay.
Brian's super sensitive to smell, and he has like a major gag reflex.
Yeah.
So he he brings it inside, and he's like gagging, and like
Oh my gosh, that's
he's like I can't do this, I
hilarious.
can't do this. So he puts it down on the counter, and I have to use like a syringe to get it out of the um tray and then into a little cup. But it was quite the process. I've never thought about how difficult it'd be to do a dog urine sample.
I'm telling you what, I would have never thought of that. And I don't know, I feel like if I tried to do that with Stella or Sheila, they would like move away.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. Well,
I think
hopefully everything's okay.
yeah, we hope so. She seems fine. She seems normal, but it
Yeah.
just we're probably hypochondriacs with our dog, so just want to make sure she's
Well,
good.
as am I. I think I
Yeah,
told you yesterday when I was like worried about my, I was like, is it just a pulled muscle or is it cancer? Because like
yeah,
Chad was massaging it and he's like, oh, I feel like a knot. And I instantly go to worst case scenario. And I'm
yeah.
like, that's not a knot. That's neck cancer. It's a tumor. I've got 12 months left.
You know what? I think that mentality, although maybe not healthy, it's probably better. I think it's probably better than the alternative where people just ignore issues that are wrong with them and just think, "Oh, I'm fine, whatever." Like not a big deal.
Yeah,
Like I know people that won't go to the doctor because it's just like, "Oh, it's whatever." I
right.
think being health aware and conscious is probably better, even if it's to an extreme.
Yeah. And so it's funny because I don't know. I freak out. I don't always necessarily, my dogs are literally wrestling and like moving my chair. I don't know if I necessarily am one to quickly do something about it. I like
Okay.
to just like sit in the fear, the what ifs. So it's funny because when I want to say it was like middle school. I
Yeah.
remember realizing like, oh, I might have a problem. I had heard a story about somebody getting a brain tumor and they passed away from it. And the symptoms leading up to it, I guess their family didn't know this person had a brain tumor. One of the symptoms leading up to it was that they smelled a really odd odor.
Oh.
And that they were like, that was one of the things they realized was like, oh, that might have been part of it. And we just didn't do anything about it. Well, okay, so I hear this story as like a middle school child, and I'm sitting in the chapel. Okay, sitting in our chapel, and I hear, yeah, I smell. I'm hearing my dogs bark. I smell. Okay, pause. I can't. I'm gonna try to get this outside. This is awful. Hang on, Stella, come. This is out of control. Come on. Oh my gosh, Austin.
When Brian suggests getting a second dog, I'm just gonna show him this clip.
So annoying. They're like, the thing is, they're absolutely silent, sleeping on the couch. And then as soon as this happens, I'm like, what the heck? Okay, so let me start that story
You
over.
smell the smell.
I'm sitting in chapel. I hear the smell. I'm like, no, I smell the smell. And I'm like, oh no, this is, I have a brain tumor. This is a smell I've never smelled before. I'm sitting in chapel. It's like music, about like going to heaven. I'm like, this is my sign. Like there's multiple things happening. And I'm just like sitting in the chapel in the school gym. Like, this is it for me. And I was sitting there like just sulking in fear. And eventually was like, okay, I'm just going to ask somebody else if they smell something. So I turned to the girl next to me and I asked, do you smell that? And she's like, yeah, what in the world is that? And I was like, not a brain tumor.
You're like, you have a brain tumor too.
It's not me going to heaven at the age of 12. Um, so I have always been a little bit of a hypochondriac. It's funny because I feel like I can teeter either way. I can be
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's probably a death sentence, or I can be like, mind over matter. You're gonna drink water, you're gonna get some rest, and you're
Yeah.
gonna push through and be like, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that says about me, but
Are you that way with your daughters, like as a parent? Do you freak out when something seems amiss?
not totally. But we've been really fortunate with pretty minimal health scares, and I think it's probably a little bit different when there are like some things that happen. I don't know. I'm like, we just haven't had really too many intense medical issues with either one of them.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just a little bit of a tough like pregnancy, and she's given us a few scares here or there, but it's always been like for nothing. Like at one point, the doctor was like, "Oh, we may need to do some blood work to test for some major things," and the blood work was like totally fine.
Yeah.
She's like, "Turns out she's just small." It's like, okay.
Piper
So,
is hilarious. I spent a little bit of time with Piper
oh,
yesterday
did you?
at the entrance to the Santa parade. We can talk about that later, but we had the North Pole and my dad was there and Piper was there and my dad and we had the South Kamoy shirts we were selling and my dad asked Piper, he's like, "Piper, can you sell this shirt to me?" And she started just going and she just like was just like
Oh,
spitballing. She's like, "Well, this shirt, it's a very nice design and
yeah.
it's perfect size. It comes in a variety of sizes, and I don't know what it stands for. I don't know what STW stands
I
for,
couldn't tell you.
but probably something good." And she's like, "And it's good if somebody's from out of town and you want to give them a gift." And
I
she
love
just
it.
kept going. I'm like, "This
Yeah.
is." And her little voice, like, where does her little accent come from? Does she
Okay.
is she getting like Chad's accent a little bit, or is that?
Well, it's funny you mention that because I am a little concerned about her speech. I was actually talking to Taylor about this yesterday. And I was saying the thing is, I had a speech impediment when I was little where I said my R's like W's, and she said does it the same, and it makes her sound like a baby. And but Chad also has an accent, and she picks up some of his dialect as well. So
Yeah,
all that to say, he's like very adamant, like she's fine. A lot of the words she pronounces is because I say it that way, but I am worried she sounds still like a baby. And I actually talked to her teacher about it, and she was like, "Yeah, we usually see those things kind of like they should have progressed past that type of I don't know, language, speech, or whatever." So she actually recommended I take her to a speech therapist. So now I'm like, okay, I don't know if, again, do I go and seek down this rabbit hole or do I just see how it plays out? But yeah, I don't know. It's like, is it an accent? Is it, she needs speech therapy? Oh, yeah.
no, but she's funny. She's a good kid.
Well, she left last night and was like, I just love your work community. Everybody there is so nice. And her and Easton are all about promoting theory.
Yeah,
And I found a video on my phone about like why people should come and work there and all the family benefits and stuff. It's
that's
super cute.
awesome.
So she's all about promoting whatever we've got going on. So
That's cool.
yeah,
How
yeah.
have your first couple days of Christmas surprises been?
Well, I will honestly say it's been a little anticlimactic around here. So I told you how we were going to do an advent calendar that
Yeah,
was every day different activity. And
yeah,
I wanted to be careful because I'm like, I can't come out the gate with some huge, thing, and then they like expect that every single day. So I
Right.
kind of started with like, oh, we're gonna do hot cocoa and Christmas cookies, and that was the first day. And I actually was going out of town that day, so that was their breakfast. I was like, we're gonna just sugar you up before you go to school. Um, and then I came back the next day, and we were going to go to a live nativity scene that a church does in Gig Harbor. I've never been, but a friend was telling me about it. So we talked to the girls, and by the time the evening rolled around and we were going to go, they were both kind of like, doesn't really sound great. It's cold
Yeah.
outside. We're all cozy. So it's just been this like really interesting. And then yesterday was a Santa parade, so we did that.
Yeah.
Today we're supposed to watch a Christmas movie tonight. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like the first day they came out and they opened it, and they also have advent calendars where they're getting things like it's
Yeah.
little skincare stuff. And I thought they'd be super excited about that, and they were. But it's just, I don't know. They're just kind of like, oh, okay, like
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure planning something every day. we
you get
I
it, you
I
get it.
get it. I just did that for a month, and I had all these ideas and like
Yeah,
plans that I wanted to do, but then kind of similar to what you said about it, you were home and it was gross out. Like that happened quite a few times throughout the
yeah,
month where I was like planning on going bowling or going to some activity, and
right.
then it's like we don't get home until 8 p.m. from work or whatever,
Yep,
and it's like, oh well, that's not happening. So then I
yeah,
figure out something else, and yeah, it's doing something every day is a challenge for sure.
right. Yeah, I have like a list, a compiled list of stuff. And then I'm also putting it, like we have a Christmas show that we're going to next week, and we have,
Yeah.
I don't know, things like they're each in a different Christmas showcase type thing. So I'm like, those things that are already on our calendar are going to be the activity for the day. But yeah, I don't know. And it's also like, yeah, anyways, that it's fine, but I could
I
use some
remember
inspiration.
I remember for my first like couple years of adulthood, I it was like Christmas time, and I remember a feeling of like, oh, it doesn't really feel like Christmas this year.
Yeah,
And it was I think that realization that oh, it's like you got to make it feel like Christmas. Like that's
yeah,
it's an intentional thing, and I think
yeah,
growing up, my parents did a great job making it feel like
for
Christmas
sure.
and doing
I'm
all the
not surprised.
activities. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's awesome that that's what you're doing for this month. And I don't know, I think that's what you got to do. You got to like it's not just gonna feel like Christmas. You gotta like go out of your way to do the decorations and do the activities and get together with people, and
yeah,
that's what Christmas is all about.
yeah. Okay, did you announce a monthly challenge for this December?
It's like a non-challenge challenge, a
Oh,
challenge to
okay.
not do a challenge. So it's
Oh, got it.
I'm calling it what was it calling it? Like December, no challenge December after no shave November. So
Okay,
I'm taking a month off, and I am going to regroup and kind of
perfect.
revisit what I want to do. My plan is to spend some time this month like kind of goal planning, and also actually like planning out my 12 months in advance for next year of
Yeah,
challenges.
yeah.
Just so it can like I don't know, I found it the last couple years. I'm like it's the last day of the month. I'm like, oh, I got to figure out my challenge for next month, and
Okay,
it's almost became a little bit of like a obligation thing where I
yeah.
want to go about it in a different way next year and kind of like
Okay,
plan it out a little more intentionally. So
yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So your goal or plan is to make up all 12 challenges
yes, and
in the beginning of the year. Yeah,
yes, that's the hope. That's the hope, and I'll probably do it around. I don't know. I have some ideas in the works. There's like
yeah.
1 month I want to like do learn how to play guitar. That's one idea I have
Okay,
for next year.
fun.
But yeah, I still need to sit down and plan it out. I'm trying to. I found that the last couple years I haven't done. I have like this major travel bug all the time, and I love international travel.
Yeah,
I haven't really gone anywhere new the last couple years, and I realized similarly like kind of same page as the monthly challenges and the Christmas stuff. It's like this travel takes like planning and intentional planning, and so
right.
I am going to focus this month as well on starting to plan out some of my December or my 2024 trips that I want to do. I really want to
Yeah.
go to Peru next year. That's something I really want to
Ooh,
do,
okay.
and then I'm trying to plan a an anniversary trip to Japan with Brian.
Fun.
So I'm starting to work on those.
What's your anniversary?
in April.
or when in April? Okay.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be one of the best times of the year to go to Japan. There's like the cherry blossoms and stuff, and the weather's
Oh, oh
supposed
my
to be good.
gosh.
So yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
I'm working on it.
I love that. I would love to go to Japan. Chad
Yes,
got to
me.
go during his like rugby career, but
Oh, cool.
I have not been.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would. That's been a big bucket list item for a while. So,
Fun.
how was Suncadia?
Okay, it was awesome. So I went with a group of people who are from our church. A few of them I know, like as acquaintances. Most of the people went Thursday night through Saturday. My closest friend that was going couldn't leave until Friday, and I was like, I'm just a little insecure to go without her. So I waited till she could go, and then we drove up. It was snowing. I don't know if you saw any of my pictures, but
Yeah,
they had warned us. They were like, "Hey, just a heads up, it's saying it might snow, so just be careful driving." I didn't think maybe I thought, oh, there's going to be flurries, but I didn't think that possibly it had snowed before we'd gotten there, and we're building on top of that. It was just
yeah,
a lot of snow. It was way more than I thought there was going to be. And so it was a little scary, a little bit on the pass, and then getting into the property, we were like, my car swerved a bit, and alarms were going off. I was in the background.
I
Um,
saw.
She's like, "Hey," but let me see if she wants to come in. Uh, I will say it was, no, this is what she does. She like barks for me to come get her, and then she stayed. Um, it was this beautiful house. It was, I think there were 16 or 17 of us total. And I I don't know. It was like I've been really wanting to connect with people at our church, and I
Yeah,
feel like it's such a big community. We've been there for over a year, and it's just hard to know your place, especially when there's families that have been there for so long.
yeah,
Um, and so it was actually just so encouraging to be able to go and spend time outside of that environment and just get to know people. And so it almost felt more like instead of just a girls' trip, it almost felt like a little church retreat. Like they did some devotional stuff and they had some quiet time and mixed in with us like having meals together and playing games and doing that. So it was for me, it was only like a quick, not even a 24-hour trip that we
yeah,
were there. But it was really, really nice. And I just love Suncadia. Like I, that's one of our favorite places to go. We are, like you're saying, travel takes planning and takes,
yeah,
organization. We're really bad about planning ahead. And Suncadia is one of those places we cannot really plan far in advance and
yeah,
can pretty much go on a whim and it tends to work out.
yeah.
So it's one of our favorite places to go. And so it was awesome. It was just this beautiful property. There was so much snow. Like I felt like we had fast forwarded to, the middle of February. It was like just a winter wonderland. Um, and it was great. We played a game called Four on the Couch and Mafia. Have you played either of those games?
I've played Mafia. What is four on
Okay,
the
Four on the
couch?
Couch. It's like you're trying to get your team members onto a surface. So we had like a bench by the fireplace, but
Okay.
usually it's played on a couch. And you have to memorize, everybody puts their name in a hat and draws one name out. You have to memorize who has somebody's name. And then if it's a name that's on your team, you're trying to get them onto this couch. And it's like you're moving and you're memorizing. So,
Huh.
anyways, it's a little hard, complicated, but and I'd never played Mafia before. That was a fun. Again, what did you call those games when it's like
Kind of like,
deception,
yeah, lying, deception games.
lying games? Yeah.
I love
So
those.
that was really fun. It was just a good mix of, some like soulful self reflection plus being silly and having fun, which is
Yeah.
like the best. So
Did you go to the spa at all?
we didn't. And that was the only bummer for me was I was just not, like I said, I didn't expect the amount of snow that was there.
Yeah.
So we really didn't plan well for like clothing and shoes and all that. So we were what the group that I came with, we were basically like at the house the whole time. Whereas the other girls, they got out and did like a little hike the day before and had a little bit more time to explore. But we were kind of like, we're just here to enjoy the property, essentially, the actual house or whatever.
Nice.
It was still
Sun-
fun.
Suncadia is
Um,
cool. I've been to Suncadia. I think I've stayed there once, and it was
cool.
incredible. I loved it.
I think you guys have maybe gone multiple times. Yeah, to me, it's one of those places. There's something for everybody.
Yeah.
And seasonally, they offer different activities as well, which is great. You can always go and find new stuff to do.
Nice.
How was your
You
Friday night?
Friday night was good. We did that was kind of like a little birthday dinner night with Brian. So we went
Okay.
to so he planned a birthday activity. So he planned a dinner for us at a place in Queen Anne in Seattle. It was
Yeah.
a restaurant called Betty. Which it was a super cool little place. We got some Brussels sprouts. We got like really great burger, some amazing fries. It was great. And then he also planned for us to go to the Laser Dome after that, which have you been to that before?
No, what is that?
Okay. So at the Pacific Science Center, there's something called the Laser Dome where you basically
Yeah.
like sit on the ground or lay on the ground and there's all these lasers on the ceiling. And it's usually to music. So it's like the one on Friday night was like Billie Eilish. It was like a Billie Eilish thing.
Ooh,
And you like
okay.
lay on the ground. So that was the plan, was to go to that, and
Yeah.
he bought tickets for it. But we were at dinner, and it was like we finished dinner, and there's still like an hour until the show, and
Okay.
we're both we both have had colds for the last week,
Yeah.
and just like can't seem to kick them. So we audibled and decided just to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, he's like, I don't care. I'm like, you promise if we don't go to this birthday thing that
Right.
you're not going to be sad? And he said, yes, I don't care.
Yeah.
And so we went home and we just chilled on the couch and
Yeah.
had a lazy Friday evening. And
Ooh.
still Monday, we're still feeling kind of crappy.
I know.
It's been like over a week, and yeah, we're ready to feel better again. But
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was Friday, and then
Okay.
Saturday, we kind of also had a lazy morning, which was amazing. I love having at least one of those a weekend.
Yeah.
So we caught up on The Amazing Race, which we're watching right now.
Okay.
Which I think I've talked to you about it. I love that show.
Well,
I want to be
yeah,
on that show.
I 100% agree. You should be. Have you
Yeah.
guys? I think I sent you the application.
No,
Have you guys done?
we're going to apply for sure.
I love it. Okay.
I think
Okay.
you have to make an application video. So I keep having it on our
Yeah.
list of things to do on the weekend. But I
Oh my
think
gosh.
next weekend we're gonna do it.
I
But
love it.
I realized I think my dream job is being the host of The Amazing Race.
Oh, okay.
The guy who like hosts it and like travels all the places and does
Yeah.
little videos and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I would love that. That's a dream job.
That's so funny because I was watching, we can talk about this later, but the season finale of Golden Bachelor, and
Yeah.
they did it live, and Jesse Palmer was interviewing everybody. And I was like, that's a pretty sweet gig. Like
Yeah.
being able to be the host of a show where you're talking to people, kind of building relationships, but also kind of entertaining and working the crowd a bit and all that fun stuff. So yeah. And I could see you for sure, especially on something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing Race. That's awesome.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get to that, but that's a new dream job for me.
Well, I think you start by being on it.
Yes.
Like, be a contestant, and then
Good idea.
they'll be like, "Whoa, this guy's got
Some
potential."
charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that Saturday morning, and then we went to the gym, and then Brian got me some new white shoes for my birthday as well. So we went shopping at Bellevue Square and got some new shoes.
I love
And
that you
then
specifically were like new white shoes.
that's pretty much what I wear every single day is white
Okay.
shoes, and
Yeah.
the old pair was rough. It was getting to a bad place. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely much needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then Saturday night we had a Christmas party with some friends. It was actually our friends' parents' Christmas party, but they're like they gotta be in their 50s, I think, maybe late 40s, but probably in their 50s. And they seem like they're in their like 20s. Like they are so full of life and fun and just like such fun
Man.
people to be around. So they
I
had
love
this.
to talk with them.
Yeah. Anyway, what is the secret?
When you sneeze, does your back go out? Just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they host this Christmas party every year, and every year there's like a theme, and the theme for this year, it was like a costume party, and the
Ooh.
theme was inanimate objects. So you had
Hey.
to dress as some Christmas inanimate object. So people were dressed as like Elf on the Shelf or
Okay. Got it.
presents,
Okay.
ornaments, several trees.
Actually, so cute.
One of the group, there was a group of 4 people, and they were like Christmas dinner. So one person was like
I mean,
cookies, one person was like turkey.
oh my gosh.
It was very fun.
What were you guys?
We decided to go as like a couple costume, and we were the naughty and the nice list.
Okay.
So
I love this.
So and there's a hot debate over whose idea it was. I'm convinced it was my idea. Brian is convinced it was his idea. But
That's hilarious.
regardless, it was one of our ideas. We did it. And I was the naughty list. Brian was the nice list. So
Okay.
basically, we both wore a white T-shirt, and then we wrote naughty list and nice list on the top of it. And
Yep.
then we also had other stuff. So I was like a devil. He was like an angel. So I was wearing like
Okay.
the devil horns and the
Yeah.
pitchfork and stuff, and he was wearing like angel wings.
That's so funny.
And then we went around during the party and we had Sharpies and we had people write on our shirts if they were on the naughty list or the nice list.
Oh my gosh,
So
it's so clever.
yeah, interactive costume. It was fun.
So fun. Okay, did either of you have more than the other on
I
your
think
shirts for
I think
people
I
like
had more. I think there were more
okay.
people on the naughty list.
People were honest. They were
Yeah.
like, listen.
I haven't been good this year.
So clever. I love it.
So that was Saturday, and then what did you do Saturday night?
Well, so we were supposed to go to this live nativity out in Gig
Right.
Harbor, and my kids were like, no, no thanks. And I was honestly, after driving back from Suncadia, I was kind of like, honestly, I'm kind of fine staying in.
Yeah.
Chad assembled our sauna and put it on our deck outside. And so we each had a turn in there. And I'm actually so excited about this because,
Nice.
he's been cold plunging.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that? Did I tell you I tried it with him over Thanksgiving?
No.
Austin, by try, I mean, I submerged for maybe 20 seconds. Like
That's
it
pretty
was,
good.
well, I don't know because afterwards, my entire body, like I went to stand up and it was like everything collapsed. Like I couldn't stand properly. Like,
Yeah.
like all my muscles were like, no, you need to be in the fetal position. So the cold therapy stuff that people are raving about, I'm like, I just don't know. A sauna, on the other hand, I'm like, I love that. Like, I don't mind sitting and being uncomfortably hot. I actually kind of prefer that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's supposed to be really good for your sleep. And so yeah, we did that Saturday night.
Love it. I've been sitting in the sauna every day pretty much at my gym. And I love, there's a sauna and then there's like a eucalyptus steam room.
Ooh.
And I'll like go in the steam room for a few minutes, then I'll take a cold-ish shower. I struggle with cold water as well. Like I love the idea of cold plunging. It seems like something that I would like, and that and I'm not against the idea of eventually getting into it, but I'm just every time I've tried it a couple times and it's so painful. And I also just have an aversion to cold water in general. Like we'll go to the lake and Brian will just jump right in, and it takes me like a lot of positive self-talk to get myself to jump in cold water. So cold plunging's hard.
Some of the girls at this retreat this weekend are big cold plungers.
Yeah.
And they were saying for them, they've gotten used to it, and now it's like it is their caffeine fix. It's like what energizes them for the day.
Yep,
they don't need coffee. The challenge is like I actually really enjoy coffee, so I'm like I'm not looking to replace it. You know,
you could do both. Porque no los dos.
I'm just gonna be like so high on life. Even Chad yesterday was like, I cold plunged this morning, and it made me feel like little things didn't bother me. Like it was like helping with his like I don't know patience or something.
Really?
I'm like, okay, sir, calm down. So that was Saturday. We just kind of relaxed as a family, did our sauna. Yesterday we went to church in the morning, and then we came to the North Pole.
The North Pole.
I had Alice and one of her friends come, and Piper, obviously, and it was just great. Like I found myself loving interacting with people there. Like I did the craft station for majority of the time, and just talking to other little kids, and I don't know, it was just like I guess I just hadn't done an event like that in a while, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, I kind of miss being more. I don't know. I guess I've just been doing like my own mom thing, hanging out with kids in middle school and whatnot with cheer, but just to interact with little ones and meet new families. And everybody's excited. Everybody's blown away, by the way. Yeah. They're like, I can't believe all this. Like who is this? What's going on here? So it's really fun to just kind of share, about Edison Square and just share about, what we do every year and partnering with Tacoma Rescue Mission and all that stuff. So my perspective was I loved it. I'd love to hear what your experience was.
Yeah, I'll give a little context. So it's the 10th annual Santa Parade,
Right.
which or Tacoma Santa Parade. So it's been happening for 10 years, which is amazing. This is the third year that it's been on South Tacoma Way.
Okay.
So it was on like 6th Ave before, and they moved it to South Tacoma Way, which we
Right.
were
Right.
very excited about because we love South Tacoma Way and we are, all in on this neighborhood. So when they decided to move, we're like, yes, that's crazy. So it's turned into the biggest event of the year, pretty much
Yeah.
within this neighborhood. So the parade happens, and then we transform Edison Square, our venue, into the North Pole. So we do tons of decorations. We bring in a bouncy house. We have arts and crafts. Which is that the table you're at? Is arts and crafts?
I was at arts and crafts. Yes.
Cool. We had cookie decorating.
Yep.
We had face painting upstairs. We
Yep.
had hot chocolate and coffee and popcorn for sale. So yeah,
And let's not forget we had Santa.
oh, and
Santa
Santa,
was
yeah, yeah,
there and
that
pictures were
was
taken and
that
yeah.
was cool. Yeah, so at noon we kicked off the day. We opened the North Pole with a little ribbon cutting in front of the building. So
Mm-hmm.
Santa was there, Mrs. Claus, the mayor of Tacoma was there. A couple like city and county council members were there. So it was cool. It was just a fun way to kick off the day, which is
Totally.
awesome. And then there's a bunch of vendors on the street and stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we opened at noon and the parade is at 4:30. So pretty much the first 4.5 hours the North Pole was open, and we had so many people come through, hundreds and
Yeah.
hundreds. I wish we would have
Yeah.
counted because I don't know. I could see us getting close to 1,000 people through, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And I also realized I was greeting people. That was my job,
Mm-hmm.
and I just love that. I love being that smiling face to welcome
Yeah.
people in and kind of giving people the lay of the land, and
Totally.
that's so fun. That was a blast for me.
Yeah.
And so the parade is open or the North Pole is open for 4.5 hours, and then the parade started. And a couple cool things about the parade. One, we had the theory bus was in the parade,
Yeah.
which was cool. Kelsey and her husband drove it, and we decorated it with Christmas lights and
It
stuff.
looked awesome.
It
Yeah.
was cool. And then I was basically walking next to the bus in the parade, giving out candy canes and then giving out flyers to our escape room. Every year for the Santa Parade, I've worn these like Santa shorts,
Yeah.
which are fun. And I get, so honestly, I do love the attention. I'll be honest right here,
Be
right
honest
now.
with you.
Yes, absolutely. I get so many people that say, "Aren't you cold?" Or like, I was getting catcalled yesterday walking down the
Okay,
parade, which was
Austin. Not surprised.
a little bit offensive, but also flattering.
Nope. Yep. Take it.
This one girl, I gave her a flyer to the escape room, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Do you work there?" And I was like, "I do," and she's like, "Well, good to know." And I was like, "Oh, all right, all right."
Okay. All right, Brian. Watch
Yeah, I know.
yourself.
Watch yourself. Better watch
This
out.
is hilarious.
So that was fun.
Nobody hit on me at the craft station.
I'm sorry.
So different experience.
It's getting hit on's a great feeling. It really is. It's just adds a little
So
pep to my step.
funny. You know
Yes.
what? As it should. I love it. That is
Um,
hilarious.
so the bus was in the parade, and then the super cool thing. So we've become friends with Santa over the last couple years, and he on Saturday, the day before the parade, he comes to the North Pole again, and we have dozens of families from the Tacoma Rescue Mission that come through, and they get to hang out with Santa, and they get Christmas presents, and it's this really awesome magical day. But we've been doing that with Santa for a couple years, and Easton, my nephew, has just loved Santa, and Santa loves Easton. And Santa actually asked Easton if he would be on the sleigh with him this year for the
Love
parade,
it.
which
Yeah.
Santa FaceTimed
What an
Easton and my
honor.
brother. What an honor. And Easton was so excited, and it was so cool. So we had the end of the parade, or the last float in the parade was the Santa sleigh, and Easton and my brother were on there, and just so cool.
It was so cool. So I was a little bit sneaky this year, and we went into the theory building and we watched from upstairs.
Nice.
So we avoided the crowd in the streets, and Taylor was there with Finn, and so we watched together. And it was actually so pleasant. And yeah, we had some friends with us. The kids, I was a little bit surprised because I'm like, this is to me, parades are so fun. There's different people, there's different groups, there's dances, there's costumes, there's all this. And they were like, we're actually going to just play hangman on this whiteboard back here. Like they were not
Really? They
into it.
weren't
Yeah.
weren't
Us
into
adults were like, oh, it's so good. Yeah. It was hilarious. Yeah. And Easton, you could tell on his face, he was just so thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parades are cool. We went to the Macy's Day Parade one time in New York, which I was probably like somewhere between 12 and 14 years old. And it was freezing. Have you been to New York?
It is on my bucket list of something to do. I've
Okay.
been to New York.
Okay.
Yes. I've never done the Macy's Day or, the whole New Year's thing. I don't know if that's really on my bucket list to do New Year's there.
Yes.
But Macy's Day Parade sounds pretty magical.
Okay, so here's the thing. It's very busy. There's people everywhere. I think I've realized over the last couple of years that I just don't love crowds.
Yeah.
And so it was a great experience, checked it off the bucket list, but so we basically, and I'm short, we're both, we're both on the shorter side.
100%.
So
yeah.
watching a parade when there's tons of people around, you can't really see anything anyway.
Well, yep. That's why too. Also, I was like being at our office and being on the second level, I was like I can actually see things here.
Yeah. I think that's great. If you can be, if I were to do the Macy's Day Parade again, or even the Times Square at New Year's Eve, I would definitely prefer to be in like a hotel or something that overlooks it and you can see it from up above, or even a restaurant or something. But being down in the crowds among the masses is a little bit overstimulating for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard, at least for the New Year's one, like once you have a spot, you don't want to leave. And so
people are peeing themselves.
I'm telling you what, I'm not here for that.
You know me, you know my bladder, so that would be
miserable. You would be miserable.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm good on that one, but I will gladly be there for New Year's and watch it from.
Love the hotel idea.
Yeah.
Watch from the comfort of your warm room.
Yeah. Do you guys have New Year's plans yet at this point?
We actually don't. I love New Year's. Like, I think for me, growing up, the night where we got to stay up past midnight was like such a highlight.
Yeah.
So I love it. One year with it's just us and the girls, I did a thing where I took balloons, and on every hour, maybe starting around noon or sometime in the afternoon, the girls would pop a balloon and we'd have an activity to do until midnight. It was really fun. And so I do love making New Year's special, but we have not talked about what we're doing this year. So
neither have we.
Time will tell. Yeah.
I feel like New Year's, we always put a lot of planning into Christmas, and then New Year's kind of ends up being like I don't know, kind of an afterthought. We figure it out a couple days beforehand, but I don't know. It'd be nice to figure out something fun for this year.
I know. We've planned a trip. I don't know if I told you, we're taking the girls to Disney at the end of January.
Nice.
I know. I'm super excited. So I feel like we're kind of, as far as like big plans and not projects, but just coordinating stuff. I'm like, I feel like our focus after Christmas is going to be like traveling.
Yeah.
But
are you doing Disneyland or Disney World?
Disneyland. Yeah.
Cool.
We haven't done Disney World, but and just for a couple of days. Like I think we're going to be gone for 4 days, but only 2 days at the park.
Cool.
But I kind of feel like, in January, that's our big event versus planning a huge party of some sort. But who knows? Yeah. We could get spontaneous and
get spontaneous.
Do something. Yeah.
I went to Disneyland earlier this year with my family, and we did the new Star Wars land. Have you done that yet?
Yeah. I think so. When did that open?
I think in the last couple years.
Okay. I feel like we went maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was new.
There's a new ride called the Rise of the Resistance, which I don't think would have been open. I think that just opened like this year or last year, maybe.
Okay, there's something we went on where it felt like even just the waiting to get onto the main ride was a whole experience.
Oh, okay. Maybe you did do it then.
Is it that?
Possibly.
Okay. I'm trying to remember when we went. It might have only been 2 years ago.
Okay.
I love Disneyland. We did go to Disneyland for New Year's, the first time we took the girls to Disney.
Yeah.
And that was magical. That was so fun. Yeah.
It's magical mayhem is what I call it.
100%. Magical chaos.
Yeah.
Great way to describe it. Yeah.
When we did Disneyland this last time, it was the first time that I'd done it from like a foodie perspective. So
Oh,
I like researched online on TikTok and
yes,
stuff beforehand, all the restaurants and best like food stuff to do at
yeah.
each park.
Okay.
And we went about it like we had a whole list of all the restaurants and stuff we wanted to try beforehand,
Oh, I'm
and it was
excited.
fun. It was the very first time I had like, because we've obviously eaten at Disneyland before, but
Yeah.
this time we're like we're gonna try everything, and there's a lot of like hidden menu items and
Oh
like
my gosh, please
kind of.
send me this list.
I will. Yeah, we made actually a
Yeah.
little video of it, so I'll send that to you. It was
Okay.
it was it was a
Yeah.
blast.
I feel like, oh, hello. Um, these dogs today. I apologize. Ruly. I want to say, she's zooming. Look at her fly behind me. Um, I think the only thing we had at Disney was the Dole Whip and churros. Like that's the most memorable food I've had.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's
excited
the
for your list.
okay. One last question for you to cap off our episode here.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing about being a mom?
Ooh, okay. I uh, I feel like planning. I don't know. I might change this, but in this moment, I feel like being able to create special moments and
Yeah,
experiences is one of my joys for them. Like whether it's I don't know, doing this Christmas stuff and making each day kind of special and memorable, or planning little birthday parties, or I don't know, making a family movie night super cozy with favorite snacks and things. Like I
yeah.
really just I love creating experiences that they enjoy.
That's awesome.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's like a way more deeper answer of like seeing your child grow into this independent person. This feels like a selfish
Yeah.
response. Like I like making things special. So I might have to think more on that. But in this season, in this moment, I really do enjoy that. I mean, it's parenting is crazy. You know, it's like I really do enjoy watching these little ones become these independent people. And as they get older, you just, I don't know, it's like in layers, it's onions that you're raising, and these, different interests, different, I don't know, not personalities, but just different things that come out of them. Right now Alice is into her cheerleading. It's finding like something she's passionate about and excited about. And
Yeah.
Piper, as she's getting older, is becoming really just witty and funny and kind of, she used to not talk to people. She used to be, I was the only one who could hold her as a baby. Like, and just to see her kind of coming out of her shell and all those things. So yeah, there's definitely different layers to parenting that I love. But I definitely feel very joyful when I'm planning experiences and making special moments for my kids. So
That's
I'll
cool.
end it at that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like you're doing a good job creating core memories for them.
Well, I sure hope so. These little ones, I feel like they have some high expectations nowadays. I blame social media, I blame technology and YouTube and what, people share, but I think just trying to make the most in your family, with what you've got is what all you can do, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, thanks for entertaining my
Awesome.
question.
Thanks for asking. I'm going to come up with a deep question for you next week and catch you
Oh
off guard.
man.
Be like,
Okay.
okay.
Sounds good. All right. Well, good luck with your dogs.
Oh, good luck with seeing.
Thank you.
She's
I'm heading
okay.
heading right to the vet right now.
Okay, sounds good. Keep us
Thanks,
posted.
Jamie. See you
Okay, bye,
later.
Austin.
Bye.